All right, so I want to welcome everybody to the New School Selling Jumpstart Workshop. And we're going to have a lot of fun today. You're going to learn a lot. You're going to be surprised at some of the things you hear. And no matter how long you've been in selling, you're going to come away with this with a deeper appreciation of some things about selling that you can do to make you more effective. And I don't need to tell anybody in here that we're in an economy that requires us to be better salespeople, to have better skills, and to be better at what it is we're doing. Extracting money from the marketplace is more difficult than it has been in the 30 years that I've been in the selling profession. I don't have a crystal ball. My assessment, my guess is it's going to be that way for some time. It may be that way for quite a period of time. And for us locally, not only do we have the economy to deal with, but we have some other issues to deal with that's going to compound it. So you probably already realize this, but your job as a salesperson just got more difficult by a factor of I don't know how many, but it's certainly more than it was a month, 2 months ago. All right. Now, what I want to do is I want to start. You have in front of you a questionnaire. And if you would take this and complete this, I'd like to spend a few minutes kind of framing what we're going to do really relative to what your issues and concerns are. Because the more I know about what your issues and concerns are, the more I can tailor my remarks or my comments. So go ahead and if you would take just a few minutes and complete that, and then we will come back and go over that. Okay. What'd you write down? I could sell more or make more money if I could. What were your answers? I'd like to hear from several of you. Paul?
Speak with more qualified prospects. Speak with more qualified prospects.
Okay. Just hold on to it because I'm going to ask you a couple questions. Speak with more prospects. In other words, have more people to talk to.
No, more qualified.
More qualified
prospects.
prospects. All right. So you're speaking to a lot of people that are a waste of time for you?
I believe so, yeah, in the end.
Okay. It's a waste of time if they don't give you money. Fair?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. What percentage of people you're speaking to don't give you money?
Probably.
That you give a proposal to, you quote, you do whatever it is you do, that you give that to them.
More than just an introduction, here I am, here's what we do, I mean, actual down to.
You actually get down to, this is what we do and this is how much it is.
Here's the bones. Probably a 50-50.
50-50.
Once we get to that
Okay,
point.
so 50% of the time, your time is wasted in that effort.
I believe so, yes.
Okay, all right. Okay, good. All right. Other ones. Robert?
I could sell and make more money if I could have more customers coming into my store and if I had the store merchandised a little bit better.
Okay. All right. So yours then becomes a real marketing kind of issue. That's a marketing thing that we're working on. Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. Good. All right. Other one. I could sell more or make more money if I could. What? Tammy?
I could sell more and make more money if I could talk to more prospects and convert more leads or increase my lead conversion rate.
Okay, good. Now, when you all are talking, hold this up a little bit closer, okay? Like you're going to kiss it, all right? All right, say that again.
I could sell more and make more money if I could talk to more prospects, convert more leads to appointments, or in other words, increase my lead conversion rate.
All right, two things there. I heard have more people to talk to, period. Have more prospects to talk to, and at the same time convert those prospects that you have,
Okay.
the ones that you're talking to. Unlike Paul, who seems to have a lot of people to talk to,
I have a
You're
lot
not-
of people to talk to also.
okay? So, all right, so is it that you're not having enough initial conversations with people to bring people into the funnel to begin with?
Right.
Okay, that's not Paul's issue?
No, I don't think so at all.
Okay, all right, good, all right. Who else? I could sell more or make more money if I could what? Nobody said get more referrals. Nobody said increase my closing percentage. No one said shorten the selling cycle. No one said eliminating discounting in competitive situations. No one said having to deal with gatekeepers as opposed to decision makers. I didn't hear any of that. So those are probably not problems anybody's having, right? No problems? Y'all aren't having those problems? Actually, that's one of yours, Cynthia. What is yours?
Get in
Up.
front of. I'd like to be able to get in front of more decision makers quicker.
Quicker.
I can get in front of them, but sometimes it takes a little bit. And I'd like to be able to get through that gatekeeper as quickly as possible.
All right. Let's take just a second and talk about that one. You okay to kind of talk
Sure.
through that a little bit? Give me an example of a situation in which that's not occurring, that you're finding yourself having to deal with that gatekeeper,
That it's not happening.
that you're not getting to the decision maker. Give me a scenario that you would like to eliminate.
I'd like to eliminate cold calling, because so many times the cold calling is what gets you in front of all the wrong people. And you make your drop-offs and you make your phone calls to follow up. And I think you had said early on in one of the meetings that, basically let's stop doing it the old way, which is stopping at a mall and going into every single store as a cold call. We have to start working a whole lot smarter now and prioritizing our time, which is another one of mine.
Okay, let's cut to the chase.
Okay.
And give me an example of an example in which you wasted your time by talking to a gatekeeper and could not get to the decision maker.
Walking into many, many veterinarians' offices over the past 2 years to sell my products and having to drop off my catalog, my card, any sales sheets, samples of products, and only being able to talk to the receptionist. Can't get to the veterinarian technician, can't get to the doctor, or the veterinarian technician is the person that tries it, takes it to the doctor.
Okay.
So that would be the number one issue that I've had over the past 2 years with that industry.
Okay.
And that's kind of like the, I don't know, it's kind of like the medical field where you have to get in to see the doctor to talk about your product.
Okay, all right, got it. Anybody else relate to what she's saying about having to deal with non-decision makers because you can't get to the decision maker? Okay, that is more of a marketing issue than it is a sales issue. Now let me just give you my differentiation between marketing and selling. Marketing is big picture strategy. Everything that happens prior to having a conversation, either on the phone or in person, with the intended party that you wanted to speak to. So all the preparation stuff, it's what gets you, the analogy would be, that's what gets you to the plate in baseball. That's what gets you an opportunity. What you do when you're at the plate is tactical, okay? Selling is what happens when you do have that conversation, either on the phone or in person. And it happens when they pick up the phone and you start talking. That's the selling piece. Yours is more of a marketing issue than it is a sales issue, okay? I want to go back to Paul, and Paul, yours is more of a sales issue. So let's take your situation, let's walk through one of those. Let's just take a specific example minus the name. Let's talk about a situation in which you went through the whole process with somebody, you got to the very end, for whatever reason they didn't give you money, and it ended up really being a waste of your time.
excuse me, 2 days ago, walked into one of the local automotive shops. Talked to the man whose name was on the building. Obviously, he tells me he's not the decision maker. Ends up being his wife. Come back, speak to his wife 2 days later.
Okay,
I had a nice wife like that.
smart
too.
man.
And sit down, we go through the entire spiel, you know, we get it within their budget, the whole 9 yards, and I get we don't have that kind of money right now. We can't afford it right now. We don't know what's going on with the economy right now. We don't know
Okay.
what's going on with the oil right now. Yeah, I mean, it's just
All right,
non-excuses.
okay, so you gave your best dog and pony show in the form of a presentation, whatever that looks like,
Sure.
okay? That's not speaking disparagingly of what you do, we all do that sort of thing, okay? You gave your best presentation
Sure. Yeah,
about something that would really help them out,
absolutely.
okay? And they would benefit from becoming your customer,
The day after they became one.
all right, day after they became one. But at the very end, the excuse or the objection they gave you is, we can't afford it.
We can't afford it.
Okay, all right. But you didn't find that out until after you had spilled your guts to them.
Correct.
Okay. If you had known that they didn't have any money, would you have given them a presentation? If they had told you up front, we don't have any money, but we would like to see a presentation?
Yes, because that's usually excuse number one when you're going out selling anyway. So if you tell me you got no money, I don't believe you anyway.
Okay,
And we're gonna go through, we're gonna talk, because I close most of my, we don't have the money that day.
well, you don't close more than 50% of them.
No,
'cause you
that's
said-
the
yeah,
problem.
okay.
I'd like to close more than
Okay,
50%.
so it's working half the time, but it's not
But
working
it's
the other
not
half the time.
So
Would you guys hire an accountant that was only right 50% of the time? How'd you like to go into surgery with a heart surgeon doing a transplant or a bypass that they said, only 50% of our people make it? Okay. You'll learn before you're done here today about how to eliminate that 50% and disqualify them up front. You may not close any more sales. You may close the same number of sales you're closing now, but you'll eliminate that 50% of the time that you're spending that they're not getting paid for, because you'll find out up front they don't have any money. And the time to talk about budget is before the presentation, not after. And I'm going to give you some role plays and some demonstrations and some other things later today that will help you, and it will equip you to deal with this whole money issue up front, rather than waiting at the very back end when it becomes an objection. See, trying to overcome the objection on the back end is much more difficult than diffusing it up front before it becomes a real issue, particularly before you spill your guts and show them everything you have. Now, second question. How much is it costing you to have this problem that you have? Now, you probably have more than one sales problem, but just the biggest one you have here, what's the dollar cost to you, either in lost opportunity cost, real cost, waste of time? All of those things can be equated to a dollar cost. So what's it costing you in round numbers to have this problem that you have? Who wants to play?
I wish I knew. I wish I knew what it cost me over the past 2 years to not be able to get in front of the.
All right, well, I'll help you with that. We'll figure that one out real quick.
Okey-doke.
How much of your time is wasted with this issue? How many hours a week are you spending engaging in this process and not getting paid for it?
Well, let's just say if there's I work 5 hours out of the 8-hour day, a lot of it is traveling, it's travel time.
Well, no, let's just talk about that, having to deal with the gatekeeper thing.
Okay,
Okay, that was the presenting issue there. How much time are you wasting with gatekeepers that end up not resulting in business?
oh my, over the course of 2 years, calling on the same people over and over, and, I mean, basically, you never wanna quit.
Well, let's just say weekly. How many hours a week do you spend dealing with gatekeepers that go nowhere?
All right, let's say 20.
20 hours a week. Okay? Now, you know how much money you make. How much is one of those hours worth to you? When you divide the number of hours you work per week divided by how many dollars you make, how much is that per hour? What is your time worth per hour?
Well, I'm pretty expensive. I'd say I'm at least $100 an hour.
$100 an hour, okay? 20 hours a week? I'm not real good at math. How much is that?
Well, I'd say that's $2,000.
$2,000 a week.
Yeah, that's costing me.
You're wasting $2,000 a week.
Yes.
Phew. How painful would it be if you had to peel out 20 $100 bills a week?
Pretty painful.
Pretty painful. 2 years, that's $20, that's $2,000 a week,
That's a lot.
okay?
Yeah.
So in the 2 years you've been doing it, that's $200,000+. Okay? Ouch.
I was just making the math easy.
It doesn't matter, the number, look, we don't play with real numbers in here, but you get the idea.
Yeah.
Now, look at your number. Look at how much it's costing you. If you do not know how much it's costing you, that's even worse than having the problem to begin with. That means you're clueless. That just means you're just sleepwalking. You've never stopped to take time to figure out, Jesus, how much is this costing me? And what kind of problem, how big a problem is it that I have? Does that make sense to everybody? Okay. Look at your number. How many of you have a dollar figure that is north of $1,000? That problem's costing you more than $1,000. I don't mean a day or a week. I just mean this year. How many of you? In the next 12 months, this problem is going to cost you more than $1,000? How about more than $5,000? How about more than $10,000? You are in the right place, okay? Because I'm going to save your butt. I'm going to help you fix that problem where you won't have that problem, okay? We'll get through that today. Now here's the important one. On a scale of 1 to 10, what is your commitment to fix this problem? To eliminate that financial drain, whatever that number is. What is your commitment to fix that problem? If it's anything less than 10, you won't fix that problem. The clients I work with, when I ask them that question, they all say at least 10. Some of them say 11, 12, 13. They're like, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm committed 12. Like, whatever it takes, as long as it's legal, moral, and honest. So you have to ask yourself, how much are you willing to work on the problem? Now, I will share with you that if you're going to eliminate that problem, you're going to have to invest time, money, and you're going to have a personal reinvention of yourself, a personal transformation, if you will, to become something different than what you are now. Meaning, you've got to change your MO. You've got to change the way you do things. And that change is going to start right up here with you believing or thinking differently than you think right now. See, because let me show you why you have this problem. You have a certain collection of thoughts in your head about everything. Business, life, selling, what you can and cannot do in a sales call, what you can and cannot say to prospects. You have a collection of thoughts. Just like this computer has a hard drive and it has data stored on that hard drive. You have a hard drive. It's called a brain. And you have been programmed consciously, unconsciously, intentionally, unintentionally by the world, and you now have thoughts as they relate to selling. Those thoughts produce a belief system, a collection of beliefs that become part of your belief system. what you think to be true and what you don't think to be true. Now, your belief system may or may not be reality. In fact, many of the things that are part of your belief system are not in fact real. It just ain't that way. Just because you believe it's that way doesn't mean it's that way. But you have a set of belief systems. Those belief systems result in certain kinds of behaviors and actions on your part. See, you cannot act in a manner that is inconsistent with what you believe to be true, other than for a very short period of time. That's called getting out of your comfort zone. It's called fake it till you make it. We all behave and act in certain manners that are consistent with our psychological makeup. Those behaviors, some may be positive, some may be productive sales behaviors, and some may be counterproductive. In fact, many of the behaviors are counterproductive. Those behaviors, in turn, create results. And then those results reinforce the thoughts that you have. Okay? Look at your results. Look at the results you're getting in your life. They can be traced back to your beliefs and thoughts. If you're going to change your results, you've got to go to work on changing your behaviors and on changing your thoughts and changing your beliefs. We're going to do an exercise in a few minutes in which we're going to look at various beliefs, and you're going to do a belief inventory. You're going to take inventory of your beliefs where you're going to come to terms with, do you believe any of these things? And every one of them has an impact on selling. Most sales training programs deal with giving you all kinds of techniques. They're important. We have a lot of techniques as well. But the fact of the matter is, if you're going to make significant strides and eliminate the issues and concerns you have, you're going to have to go to work on your beliefs and change your beliefs about the way you do business. We're not talking about putting a Band-Aid on a gaping wound. We're talking about a complete transformation. Because many of the things you think to be true about selling, there's a psychological term for it. It's called crap. Just crap. You know? And my job is to help you by giving you a mental enema to clean out that stuff so that you can then instill positive beliefs that will create positive behaviors that will produce positive results. Truth of the matter is, that is not an instantaneous process. Although there can be some great strides made quickly by people who change their belief systems. But it's usually going to take a little bit of work to change some of those things. Because I can't undo